Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Corey, better known as the Seaman, and I want to welcome you to another edition of the Seaman's Cinema Sitdown. Man, I'm behind the 8 ball this week. I typically watch this on Wednesday and then get it up whenever I can get it edited and get it posted to YouTube, right? But this week, I kind of got a little bit of a curveball. I watched Extraction 2 on July 4th. If you want to see my reaction and review to that movie, you can see them right up there. But it was one of those where everything was filmed and I was doing the edits, and sometimes those edits go kind of long, but I couldn't film this because I'm still using the memory card that came with the camera, so it doesn't have a lot of space. I gotta go to Best Buy and buy a bigger memory card. So I had to get Extraction 2 up and posted before I could shoot this one. So now Extraction 2 is up. You guys can see that, and we can finally take a look at the 3rd episode of this Marvel television show that I think is absolutely kicking ass right now. What are we talking about? Why don't you pull up a chair, take a seat? We are getting ready to take a watch and then dive in, spoiler-filled, into Secret Invasion, Episode 3, Betrayed. And if you've been following this channel, you know that this is one of my favorite things Marvel has put out in a long time. At least in, the interconnected universe place, right? Guardians, all 3 of their movies, self-contained. This, while it is certainly self-contained to Nick Fury, it certainly is something that plays to the overall MCU and plays into stories that are coming. From what I understand, I'm pretty sure this leads right into the Marvels. So, in that realm, this is some of the best writing we've seen in this phase of MCU, period, right? This is right there with Loki and WandaVision when you talk about conceptual. WandaVision had so many other things going for it too, right? Because it was just a totally out-of-the-box experimental way to try to do a series of television where, Loki and this are just straight up some of the best dialogue we've had. Both of these shows lean so heavily into dialogue and exposition while also giving you enough to be well, you're just telling, not showing. Every conversation that we have had in Secret Invasion to this point, you're just completely gripped. Episode 1 does such a great job of introducing the idea of Secret Invasion and where they're going to be able to play with the idea of not knowing who is a Skrull and who isn't, and the stakes that were going to be laid in for this show. And then last week, whether it's Fury and Talos, Fury and Rhodey, you get some of the best conversational dialogue that we have seen, not just in the show through 2 episodes, but in all of Marvel. That Rhodey conversation for me is one of the best things they've ever written, and the Talos conversation is right there with it. So I'm in awe. I'm enamored with this. It's that kind of grounded, real spy, espionage, sci-fi, alien type thing that I wanted this show to be. And the fact, again, that it's been able to prove in 2 episodes that it can do what it is doing and still work as an adaptation, even though it is not nearly as widespread from the hero perspective. But that was another thing that I loved last week in the Rhodey conversation, where Fury's nah, man, we can't bring the Avengers in, because if one of them gets picked off, now they're an alien terrorist. It's so clever, and that's one of the things I think that I've missed from some of Marvel in this phase, is the clever writing, specifically when you're talking about the Disney Plus shows. I think we started so strong with WandaVision and Loki, but there's a lot of middling, I think, with the series. And while I certainly enjoyed She-Hulk a lot more, I absolutely adored Miss Marvel, Falcon and Winter Soldier, now he's Captain America, had moments, but there's been some roughness with the Disney Plus shows, and certainly from a wide appeal. I don't think everything is connecting to the point that I don't even think that this is really kicking the way that it could. I hope that we start to see conversation and people really being engaged start to catch on, or at least after this is done, people just binge all 6, because my friends at work were telling me that this episode, they're Cor, if this keeps going the way that it is, it'll be one of the best series that Marvel's put out. So I'm very excited to take a look at episode 3. From what I understand, this episode will finally have that meeting, right, which Talos wanted to get, and it'll incorporate that sequence where we see everybody turn into Kingsley Ben-Adir, which, by the way, I haven't watched it yet. I will be reacting to the Bob Marley trailer. But when I saw that trailer dropped, I didn't know that we were getting a Bob Marley biopic. And then when I looked in to see who was playing Bob Marley, it was Kingsley Ben-Adir. I went, sign me up for this movie right away, because this kid is freaking phenomenal. I was talking to my buddy. I was like, I could not think of the thing that I had seen him in before this. And my friend was like, dude, when you mentioned that he was going to be Bob Marley, and like we were talking about him in this, he's like, he was in One Night in Miami. And then it hit me. I was like, oh my God, that's right. He freaking played Malcolm X in that, and he was phenomenal. So, like, this kid is so strong. And this is the episode where, like, you see all them Kingsley Ben-Adir show up, or all the Skrull turn into someone that looks like Kingsley Ben-Adir. So that's shot in and of itself. And then when I mentioned, like, that's this episode, right? And they were like, yeah, I could tell that there's some stuff that goes on in that sequence that's probably going to blow me away. So I'm very excited, because people I know that are watching this, that have seen episode 3, didn't spoil anything, but were like, it is as good, if not better, than the first 2 episodes. So that's very exciting for me. So let's get situated here comfortably on the couch, get the episode up for you guys, and let's waste no more time and take a look at Secret Invasion Episode 3, Betrayed. And let's see how bad Disney Plus is today. Took a minute to even get into the buffer. There it is. And are my headphones working? My headphones have been a pain in the ass the last couple days. But, oh yeah, previously on... I can't wait to dive more into the Gravik-Fury relationship. Like, what's the thing that broke Gravik's heart?
You're telling me there's a million Skrulls walking amongst us right now?
Yo, mine! Reptilian-ass mind, that's right.
I nominate Gravik to the post of Skrull General.
And the other thing, too, that we teed up last week, Super Skrull is or are coming. I don't think we're going to get the original Super Skrull. Kalit or something like that. Like all the alien names in the comic books. But, you know, they also enhanced Skrull after him as we got further into different Skrull stories. So I think that Gravik is going to create like an army of Super Skrull. But, like, getting to see the power sets that they have is going to be dope whenever we get there. And then Fury's got a wife. Also fascinating. This kid, I'm waiting for this kid to get something bigger.
I mean, bring in chaos.
Bringing chaos.
Why did you join the resistance, Beto?
Beto, that's his name.
I didn't want our people to keep running.
This is a cool concept.
You joined the same reason I did, not fear of the past. Faith in our future. All faith is built on risk. So that's what we have to take.
Just the tension in these scenes. I think this just touched on something really interesting where it's like, I think Beto's reason for joining the Resistance is more in line with what we've kind of gotten vibe-wise from Gravik, as far as like, I want a home for our people, and like Gravik's got the driving force of you didn't fulfill your promise, but I don't think he wants like world domination. I think his right-hand man, Super Skrull time. Are we gonna give the powers to Gravik? That would be dope. But his like right hand, I think he actually wants like chaos and destruction and like wants all these things to happen, where it's less about having a home and more about getting into the violence and the bad guy stuff. And that's two kind of perspectives on that type of thing that I kind of like that I think we're looking at. I'm so excited.
Members of the council.
Oh, he's gonna show off.
Now at the council meeting I told you I had a plan for taking Earth as our own. I sent 3 operatives to infiltrate the Royal Navy.
Time to change.
The friggin' shapeshift visual effects are cool, but you know, probably expensive. Let's do a classic cut.
The only way we can counter that and claim this planet as our home is to become super ourselves.
Yep, Super Scroll.
We no longer just change faces. We change powers.
Yes.
All of them. Super
Yep, so we're gonna do Super Scrolls.
Humans will be at all out war with each other.
That means that we can still get Super Scroll proper in the Fantastic Four, which I dig. And I hope that the other thing that this show does is expand more for the Skrull story in general, so we can play with the Skrull in the movies and other things, because this, man, like, I want this to be more involved in the overall storytelling and to pull in other parts of the MCU. I think all of that will be dope. But yeah, like, I'm so here for Kingsley Ben-Adir. His performance right to this point has been really, really good. I think it's only gonna get better. But the other thing that I really like too is that, like, we teased Super Skrull last week, and now here we are. We're getting right to it. That's the thing I'm loving about this show, is that is teeing things up and then knocking them off the board quick. Right? It's not like, oh, we're gonna tease Super Skrull in episode 2. But you won't see Super Skrulls until episode 6. And with seeing and meeting the Super Skrulls, we also have to defeat them. We've got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this. This is what's happened, I think, with a lot of the Marvel shows, where you get, and I've said this, in past weeks, you get to the last episode and it feels like you've got, like, 80 things to clear off the board in probably one of the shorter episodes of the season. And I don't see this show doing that, right? Like, we tease and then we pay off. We, pose a question, we answer it. The storyline is moving episode to episode to episode to episode, and anything that we're carrying over episode by episode are character beats, and that's how it should go, right? The things that are going to go through every episode should be the things that are coming from your characters, because your characters are who are going physically through episode to episode. But each episode should present something and then clear it off the board, and then tease something that's going to lead you into the next episode. And I love that we're, boom, already dealing with Super Skrulls. And then the other thing that I need to know is more about this relationship with Fury and that Skrull woman. Like, you get to the bottom of those two things that you teased last week. This show's moving perfectly for me. New York City. We going back in time again? 1998. You can always tell when you're going back in time. Or de-age tech on Samuel Jackson, which I continue to hold works so well, because you don't have to do much to de-age Samuel Jackson.
Coffee?
Yes, please, black.
Looking for someone?
Yes, I am.
Speaking of the other thing I wanted to answer, I think we're getting right to that too.
Depends on what day of the week it is.
This should put Dracov's men on their heels.
This new face of yours is...
Doing it for Nick Fury. This woman knows what she's doing.
There's a rule that, commander station and operatives cannot be in.
Our unit doesn't exist. That means I don't work for you.
Loophole.
That's an intriguing.
Yeah, a little flirtatious look from young Fury. Reality.
Make sure you got enough food and water, because that, my friends,
Christier.
How can you watch that poison?
Even a broken clock's like...
Those eggs supposed to be soft or hard-boiled?
If you want me to apologize for being gone, Scylla, just say so.
I never harbored any illusions about the necessity of you going away.
This time, yeah, it was different.
That leaves a mark.
I retired.
Forced retirement.
Any plans for the downtime?
I never cared much for golf, so I'm thinking I may take up revenge.
Revenge, I like that. Giving Fury some great lines in this series so far.
You been in touch with Gravik while I was gone?
And why are you asking me that?
'Cause I just need to be sure
About what?
who you become while I was gone.
I became a widow in your absence. I wept on your pillow every night. I grieved for you.
Disgusting.
And just when I thought I had gotten past the heartbreak, you came back and the blip And silly me, I thought we were going to undo all the pain together, go back to the way we were. But no, you just up and vanished again. Only this time it was voluntary.
Ooh.
If you're interested in who I became in your second absence, I became me, the me I was before you.
Oh. She on Gravik's side?
Don't ignore it because of me.
The idea of Fury leaving and the consequences that it has is being played with very well.
You two, take care.
Something important?
Nope.
She's definitely working with Gravik. I don't trust her, not one bit. I don't think Fury does either.
What is it? What's happened?
Rogan.
What about him? You guys killed him.
What about him?
It's a cool shot.
Told the cops where we were headed, and only we knew that. It was me, you, Hagen, and Beto in the car.
She called. That's who she was
Brogan
speaking.
confessed to something he didn't know.
Something she was.
Not so hard.
Oh yeah? How'd you figure?
Brogan, under torture, he was forced to make an educated guess.
Is that what you do?
I'd lie. I'm a good liar.
She's lying to you right now. That had to be who she was talking to in Russian. Was the cops.
He was weaker than you thought.
Easy to play into this though. Brogan dead. It's very helpful. Attention.
I'll see you tomorrow. Early. You coming with me?
I tell you, I'm still waiting for them to give Amelia Clark this, like, a bit to really sink her teeth into, but the very little that she's getting, even when it's non-dialogue like this, I think she's been absolutely excellent. Like, she's playing, she's got me on my toes. I mean, I feel pretty confident that she's playing Gravik at this point, but I think she's doing a decent job, a little rattled there because she was caught off guard, but she's doing a pretty decent job, I think, of playing both sides.
Your father called for a parley. Apparently we're mean about you.
But I still feel like Talos is not on Nick's team right now. Need to dive more into him.
Plane will be at Neptune's coordinates. 2200 hours.
Was this the Parley meeting? Or is this something different? I feel like he's going into a building that would kind of fit the shot we saw in the trailer with the two of them. FLT 819 Neptune 2200. Who is she texting? I want to know who she's talking to, though. Like, because that's not the police. I wonder if is she texting Fury?
You asked me, Talos. Choice between having my story told in ink and oil paint, or having it written in blood. I choose blood all day long.
He's a soldier.
Yours and everyone else's, huh?
You asked for Parley, so let's parley, shall we?
I'm really digging Benedict. He's crushing. Like, you just buy his motivations. Yeah, something I don't think he wanted, but he's gonna go the route he knows as a soldier.
Or you just get an empty cup.
I like a little bit of espresso with my sugar. You want some?
What I want is for you to stand down and stop murdering innocent humans.
You know, I would be doing us both a favor. I just put you out of your misery. Guys in the car. Wanna come say hello?
You want to be very, very careful.
Yeah.
You should be grateful that I haven't sent her back to you in a body bag yet.
Oh man, every time, dude, it's so good. Like, I freaking love it. Where they can just change clothes, appearance, the whole nine. That shot won't ever get old.
You're gonna take our people to the edge of extinction with a war with the humans.
All these miscreants know is murder. Look how they treat each other. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna murder them all.
You don't understand. The first thing about humans, they're at their most formidable
Backs her against the wall.
when they're threatened by a common foe.
Look at.
Have you forgotten how we fight?
You and your rebels will be put down like the rabid dogs you are.
Then you'll be the author of our people's extermination.
They will see the difference between us, because we will show them. We who haven't been infected by your sickness.
Oh my god, this writing is so good. Oh man!
Now, until the end of time, my daughter's name stays out of your mouth.
You.
You got it?
There is a reason. Oh, he's already got the extremis in him. So he's already gone Super Skrull. Oh, boy. But, you know, I love that. Talos, like, remind you, like, he was the general before him for a reason.
I believe this is yours. Thank you.
Was that someone helping him, or was that someone deceiving him? That's the thing. I just can't tell. He's following the old man. Who is the old man? Yeah, Gaia. That was my gut said that it was probably Gaia. He can't possibly trust anything coming from her right now. But I like that he's already got the Super Skrull in him. Here we go. Let's see. Is Talos gonna be some kind
You
of opposition?
plate of dog? Just lost my appetite.
Oh, that's the first.
Anyone that could say what you said to me yesterday, have the balls to come up in here and ask me for help?
I didn't ask you for help.
Hey,
Oh, well, what, you here to have an English breakfast, mate? Or you here to inquire after my well-being? No, I think it's a pretty safe bet you're here for that, right?
they're so good together.
I got a lead on rebel Skrull that's high up in the U.S. government. He's in London.
And?
And
And what can I do for you? Can I help you, my friend?
I just told you.
No, you told me that you got a line on a scroll that's up. I know that it's understood that you think that implies that I should just sort of reach out and take this opportunity to just help you like that, just as it going. So,
These two are so good.
to, you know, use your words, say the words.
See,
It's like watching a couple fight.
Help me, Talos, because I'm useless.
Yo, get him, Talos. Mendelsohn and Jackson are so good opposite each other. Like when they cast Mendelsohn to be Talos, it was just genius.
help me, Talos, because I am useless without you.
All right, Fury. Thank God. Like I told you, one of my friends said they thought Talos was gonna flip, and then that got into my brain at the beginning of last episode. I need these guys on the same team.
Go hand it off intel. Used to burn a phone.
Brave girl.
And good role model.
Tune is a British sub. I know who to go.
Haha, yes.
Whoever this is, you shouldn't have.
What do you know about a British submarine called Neptune?
First, I want an apology.
I just gave away the only.
I was just about to say.
You rather rudely attached a nasty bug to my beloved hoot.
Tell me that's not the name of.
It's a bit of a dashing little life, actually.
Serious on you. Having a.
Oh man.
Unfortunately, I'm dealing with my own infiltration at the moment. Somebody leaked the location of the butcher's shop when I was doing some of my best work. His name is Commodore Robert.
There we go.
Ah, can I get a photo
The-
of an address?
Absolutely. Shall I tell him you're on your way?
Yeah, tell him.
They cast the perfect people to play opposite of Jackson. Olivia Colman is so good.
Portsmouth. That's where a Naval Command HQ is.
She's so good. And again, like someone else, little screen time, crushes with what she gets. The dog thing.
Dog's a man's best friend.
But I mean, come on, look at that. I mean, just name me one other interspecies relationship where it's acceptable to clean up the other.
Cleaning up your poop for the last 30-some years. Dog, that. The truthsome mother dog.
That's really what you think? That the whole time we've known each other, you've been cleaning up my mess.
Yeah, he does.
When I came here in 1995, you were just a benchwarming nobody in a Duncan field office. Did you have a different take on this?
I was ascending.
You know, we fed you more dirt and intel than you could have uncovered on your own in a lifetime.
It's fair.
Every time you were promoted inside S.H.I.E.L.D., we did that.
Oh.
we did that, every enemy you sabotaged and ally you leveraged with dirt no one else in the world had access.
We did that.
You're a smart and capable guy, Fury. Nobody questions that. But you gotta admit,
You got help.
your life got a hell of a lot more charm once I came into it. And you know something? I don't even need to hear a bloody thank you from you. It was my pleasure, mate.
Oh.
Least you can do is not rewrite history when the guy who helped write it with you the first time sitting right next to
The heart of that relationship.
you.
We're here.
That Bob?
Yeah, Bob. You remember Bob, the guy that's gonna launch a nuclear attack?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that.
No, that's cool. You got any more abuse you want to hurl my way? Are you ready to go in here and take care of Bob? And then I get to say,
These two are so good. Like I said, like the castings for people that Fury worked with. I mean, Colby Smulders, perfect. Ben Mendelsohn, phenomenal. Gotta be opposite Olivia Colman a lot, so good.
Shane, I can't empathise, sir. Don't let her hear you say that.
Well done, Talos.
Good position.
Worry about your own damn self.
Do me a favor, Fury. So I just left you.
Yeah, I see.
Drop them. Are these all okay? So these are all Skrull. All right, that makes sense. It's a kid. Is it an actual? I mean, the fact that he went right back to the video games tells me that's an actual teenager.
Come in, Talos.
Sorry, Nick. I was busy kicking Bob's ass.
Oh, I wonder. Damn Skrull are sneaky.
nobody calls me Nick.
Good play. You knew he was gonna come in somehow. Like, why else show him in that room?
I'll let him go when you let my son go.
This is not
A negotiation.
Bob.
You talking to the negotiator, baby? Great Samuel L. Jackson movie if you've never seen it. Got red hair, he's great.
Find something to time up?
Sure thing.
Thanks for saving my life, Fury. No problem, Talos. Anytime. What you working on over there, Bob?
Sub with a nuke?
Are you gonna kill my dad?
I just need your dad to do the right.
Does not launch that bomb. Scary that someone could just do that from their house, though.
I'm gonna switch gears. Oh, look at him. He's not the one who's gonna have your wife scraping your purple goopy brains out of a carpet.
Purple goopy brains.
Call off that airstrike now.
I could protect you. You couldn't protect yourself coming through that door.
Ooh.
You're a shell of the general you used to be.
Ooh. I like how they're
Why
playing.
don't you shapeshift back into this piece of trash and call in an abort on that missile strike?
Great idea. Why did I? Maybe because he's the only one who knows the code word.
You got a code for us, Commodore?
But to see them doing the same thing as Fury with Talos is great, right? Like, you're a shell of yourself after he looked like he wasn't.
You're too late.
Enough of this.
Oh!
I'm giving you 3 seconds to give me that code.
Samuel L. Jackson just doing some Samuel L. Jackson.
Give me the gun. Give me the 2. I said give me that gun. You got minutes to figure out that code. If we can't make your friend here tell.
Yeah. Like, man. United Nations 1. Has this got, like, all of the leaders? Which leaders are on this plane right now? If they said it in the show, I for sure didn't hear it. Or I didn't realize what they were saying.
You sickened me.
Shut up. What's it gonna be, man?
Yeah, do some things, Talos. Shoot him.
Or is she the spineless traitor feeding you information?
Well, that's not gonna help. That's certainly not gonna get you information. Talos, what are you doing, man? Call it. Is she gonna know the abort code?
Commodore Robert Fairbanks. I need his launch termination password now.
Feels like it would have been a good idea to start there, like, a lot quicker.
Good evening, friends.
Calm breach. Oh, well, now she's toast. She gonna have to be out now. Blowing her cover. Oh, sweet Jesus. She has to figure that Benedier probably knows that her cover's blown. Oh, there everybody is! Yeah, man, where is Ross? That's freaking cool, though. Like, you can access them that way. Is the code the kid's name?
Okay, now run.
Yeah. She gotta get out. Oh, God. Is Gravik gonna find her?
Initiating go position.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Faster, boys.
This is Fairbanks.
It doesn't even need to shift to the voice.
Code word?
What's the kid's name? Good job, other dude. Got that key out of there fast enough. Whew. That was close, but Guy is in trouble, man. So I think Gravik's been onto her from go. We're gonna get to see some more Super Skrull power. I think he's got all 4. Right? All the Super Skrull usually have multiple powers. And obviously the original Skrull had 4.
Gotta be hard for you to be fighting with him when deep down in your bones you believe in what he's doing.
Answering the... Love that.
Alright, so make me understand.
I'm not with Gravik, because I'm with you.
Loyalty. Who's supposed to be in there? It seems too easy, man. She gonna get caught off guard somewhere. Yep, there it is. Told you it was too easy. And it's just gonna be Gravik himself, right? Yup. Oh boy, what's he gonna show off? Seen a little extremis.
Where are you off to, Gaia?
I heard about the failed strike. Our men need exfiltration.
I didn't fail. That plane would have been valuable. Finding the traitor was essential.
Oh, it was all a misdirect.
You will look at me and you'll ask yourself, are you a leader of Skrulls or a West End?
Oh no! No, no, no! No! You're gonna do it to me twice? I got a little issue with that secret invasion. You took 2 female characters off the board. Somehow not be dead, Gaia, please. Like, we're sitting... Oh my god. I mean, like, she shifted, so... like, why would... Ugh! All I wanted was Amelia Clark to sink her teeth into some stuff, and it felt like we were getting there. Man, dude. That one hurts me. Like, my counter to losing Colby Smulders was like, well, at least we're gonna get to see Amelia Clark do some stuff. Yeah, I don't like that decision.
I'll give you some time alone.
What is she up to? Because I don't think we can trust her right now. I think she's Team Gravik. That's a gun. Is that Gravik telling her to kill Fury?
St. James Church, 1 hour.
I need to speak to Gravik.
Yep.
Well, you're talking to me.
That was Rhodes, right? That was definitely Rhodey. That sounded... God, man! Twice! I can't believe they doubled down and went that route twice. This is definitely Rhodey's... I just want to hear this voice one more time. Yeah, it's definitely Rhodes. I'd be fascinated to find out how Rhodes got the jump on her, right? Because, like, she clearly was going to that box expecting some sort of communication from Gravik, and Rhodey's the one that's calling. I just, man, I'm like, 2 times. 2 times in one series. That's a it's just a little disappointing for me. Especially because, like I said, I've been in love with Colby Smulders since freaking How I Met Your Mother. So when she got Maria Hill, I got so stoked. And she has always given us flashes of, like, this woman deserves her own movie or TV show. Like, she can carry. You know, she's got that type of talent level. And you take her off the board when you're expecting her to finally be able to sink. Like I said in the first episode, like you see the stuff they were doing with Fury early on. I was like, yes, this is what I was wanting out of Secret Invasion, alongside getting the same type of material for Colby Smulders, Maria Hill. You take her off the board, you know, it stings, but like you get it. The show is about Fury, and it really does drive that plot, even if I don't personally love when we fridge characters. And whatever, like I said, my pivot to that was, you know what, at least Emilia Clarke is back. She gonna be able to sink her teeth into something, and we can all like get excited, because like she's somebody. Daenerys Targaryen is an all-timer character for me. No matter how Game of Thrones ultimately ended, like what she did with Daenerys, even in the bad moments of that show, phenomenal. She obviously had, you know, I think some health things. I think she had a brain aneurysm, so she stepped away for a little while. And like I've seen her pop up in a couple things here or there, you know, but like nothing that's really created any kind of spark. And this was what I thought was gonna be. That was gonna be like, man, Emilia Clarke back on TV, where she's really good, a character that could translate to the movies, I think, and like an actor that I think certainly could do that, and like really get to see Emilia Clarke start to take off again. And then we take her off the board to friggin' drive Talos' storyline. Like, I hope there's some kind of counter. But I told you, like, the whole episode, man, it was like, things are too easy right now. And the genius of... Now, while I am disappointed with what's going on with some of the female characters that I really was excited about, what is being given to us in the show is very, very good. I mean, the writing, and like the writing gets you to a place where it's like, what else would you expect to happen there, right? Like that whole episode, I felt like something bad was coming for Gaia. So it makes sense that it ends up playing the way it does because of how she's playing. I didn't think you'd do it, but this episode did give us some really good things. We got a little bit of spy action. It's one of these things where I think you have a heavy dialogue show in general. You have an episode that is pretty much just dialogue and conversation. You got to give me a little bit of the spy espionage action stuff, and we got that here. I probably could have used a little bit more on the action side, but like, we do have aging actors here. It's funny. I saw Harrison Ford being interviewed, I want to say for Variety or maybe Vanity Fair, but he was being interviewed, and the interviewee, or the interviewer, Harrison Ford to be the interviewee, you know, it asked him, like, what suddenly is creating this surge in this later period of his life and career, right? Like, we've seen Harrison pop up in a lot of things, and Harrison credited the writing, right? Like, the writing on Shrinking is genius. Like, that show, I think, in and of itself has rejuvenated Ford's career in the fact that, like, he could go and frickin' play the grumpy old dad in every comedy from here till the end of time, right? Like, he's got this humor where, like, he can work inside that. So, like, you know, and Shrinking's given him a lot of different opportunities to kind of get back into things. And then, obviously, the Indiana Jones script, I think, from Ford's perspective, I understand why he loves it so much. I think, you know, for what he was looking to do with that character, the script did exactly what he was looking for. But then, in line with that, the guy was like, he had made like some kind of comment that, like, you know, you getting out there more than Samuel L. Jackson. And Harrison Ford was immediately like, nobody works more than Sam. And that's true. I don't think anybody in the industry works more than Samuel L. Jackson. That guy, I mean, not as much as he gets older, but another dude that, if he's not already, he's pushing his 80s. You know, you're not gonna be able to do a ton, and, you know, Ben Mendelsohn, a little bit younger, but, like, you know, you can see when they're doing the action scenes, not as good as if they were like peak age. So I get you're not gonna do like tons of crazy action, but the little bits that we get, I do think are nice. And I like that you got to see both Talos and Fury on their A games, but also, again, like the way we got flipped with Fury in the first one. Oh man, I'm doing my Fury thing, even though people are telling me I'm not. I'm doing my Fury thing. Oh shit, Maria Hill's dead. Episode 3 now, you got Talos out there telling Fury that he ain't been doing his thing, but Talos been doing his thing, and they give us a reminder, like he gets the drop on Gravik, and Gravik talking about how he was replaced him as general. Like, oh man, yeah, remind us that Talos was the Skrull army general. Like, that's the thing. And then what happened? Oh, Talos gets caught, and put in a position where the decision that he makes to get the answer now directly costs his daughter her life. Is one of those where it's like, these guys have been in this game for so long, and I get it, man. Like, we all have that thing that we're really good at, and we get kind of full of ourselves, especially when we've been doing that thing for a long time consistently. And you kind of sometimes miss when you're slipping. And they've both had unbelievably big mistakes that have cost them at a personal level. I think that's really, really fascinating character work and things to dive into when you're trying to dissect Talos and Fury. It is a shame that it is at the cost of Maria Hill and Gaia. But if Talos and Fury are the characters that you're focusing on here, yeah, I mean, ultimately, you're doing some really interesting things with these characters, and I'm really fascinated to see where we get to in the last 3 episodes. But damn it, man! Like, I swear, I might be so off this show if Olivia Colman gets killed. If you take away Olivia Colman from me, Marvel, I'm gonna come down there, man, and be like, "What are you doing?" Speaking of Olivia Colman, much like Emilia Clarke, not being given tons to do here. She's definitely gotten more than Emilia Clarke has gotten. But every single second that Olivia Colman is on screen, she is capitalizing, and she is winning every scene that she is in the show. I mean, even in just a conversation with Fury, she's the thing that's popping. I mean, like, the banter and the humor, like, that's the thing I like. I think a lot of Marvel humor doesn't work for people because they feel like we're getting that forced Marvel humor that's got to be, like, kind of part of all of the movies. And I think there's differences when you talk about humor, right? There's humor that's natural. And there is absolutely some times where it's like, we're going to do the funny Marvel thing here when maybe we shouldn't. I think that obviously was a massive impact on Thor: Love and Thunder. However, here, when I'm laughing my ass off and the humor that's hitting, it is because it is natural, man. This is just the type of banter and back and forth that these characters have with one another. And that's the thing that I love about all the dialogue in the show, is that you 100% believe the interactions that are going on. Like, these characters, even if we haven't spent time with them on screen or on screen together before, right? Like, obviously, like, Hill and Fury and Talos and Fury, you're going to have that chemistry because these guys have been working together, albeit in smaller capacities than your main roster. But they've all been together. They've been on set. They've been hanging out. Like, they have that natural chemistry. The people that we're bringing in that are new feel like they've got the same chemistry and history with these characters, and that's something that I love, and that's something that comes through in the dialogue in a very, very natural way. So again, here, I think this episode had some of the funniest stuff that we've gotten in this series so far. And it's just because, like, Olivia Colman, her banter with Fury and Fury's banter with Talos, like, it's all so natural, and it feels like it fits. Then, there's Kingsley Ben-Adir. This is another guy who, yeah, he's getting a lot more than, Coleman or, Clark or Hill or, but he's not getting, like, the Talos or Fury levels, right? So when he's on screen, same thing. He is winning every scene he is in, and he's doing something in every scene that just makes you go, damn, man, this guy's good. I mean, just like, you go back and watch the conversation with Talos. Just the expressions on his face, the surprise, but at the same time, like, you could see in his eyes that, like, he could have gotten the drop on Talos. Literally, everybody in that room was on him. And as we saw, the friggin' dude that they had to go stop shooting the nuke off got the drop on Talos. There's no way, right? There's no doubt in my mind that Gravik could have gotten the drop on him. But he lets it happen. And he lets it happen because what's more painful? Me taking you off the board right now and putting you out of your misery, or me doing something that's going to lead to even more misery? And that's the psychological element that I love right now about Gravik, right? Like, if you're going to create a character for a show, and again, I think they're doing what they're doing with Gravik, because they didn't want to use, I think it's Colrette? Scroll Comics. Yeah, Colrette. Yeah, all these damn names, man. They're all like KL and then like an apostrophe and like other letters. But Colrette. The original Super Skrull. Like, you create Gravik for this show to keep him off the board. I think that's something that 100% is going to get played with once the Fantastic Four are in the world. I'm not saying that Super Skrull is the first thing you jump to, even though he does show up pretty early on in the Fantastic Four's run. And honestly, I think he'd probably make a very fitting first villain if you can tie the Skrull story, like if we can ride the Skrull, like whatever comes out of the Skrull story from here to the Fantastic Four, Super Skrull will make a ton of sense. And then if you want to just wrap up all your Skrull stuff, you can do it there. But I think you don't use the traditional Super Skrull so that that's available for the Fantastic Four. What you do, you get a little Extremis, a little Groot, a little Cull Obsidian, and a little Frost Beast. Like that's freaking cool. So like seeing like, and again, one of the other reasons he ain't freaking out too bad, and even like he knows he's gonna be able to heal that with the Extremis piece of the superpowers that they've given him. But clearly, what we couldn't see last week, when the Doc turned that machine on, Gravik must have been there. And obviously he's been infused with the powers. He is the Super Skrull for right now, but his plans, obviously, much like the comics, multiple Super Skrulls. We want all the Super Skrull. That's how we're going to take over the planet. But again, there's like this element where it's like, I think what he's doing is always calculated. Like, you're not looking at a villain that's spiraling out on being power hungry. He wants a home for his people. And the idea of coexisting with the humans, he's seen what that's been like for 20 years. Nick Fury didn't deliver on his promises. Carol Danvers didn't deliver on her promises. Talos, not delivering on his promises. So what do you gotta do? Take it into our own hands. And if we try to live as Skrull on the planet, we all know, we can't even live with each other because our skin color is different. You gotta have a green person with alien features walking around telling me that they're not going to be discriminated on harder than all the people who are already discriminated on in America? No. So what's the logical solution? Earth is going to be the planet because that's where most of us are. We're going to just take it out. Like, it's not, I don't think it's craziness that's driving, someone like Gravik, where his right-hand man, I think, is someone who really craves the killing is purposeful from Gravik's point of view. His right-hand man, I think, is someone who's just down to kill because he likes it. And I think he likes being a bad guy. And I like that we're getting those perspectives. But the other thing that I do love in this episode is you see the level up in the kind of bad that Gravik is. While he's calculated, while all of his decisions have reason and thought behind them to achieve whatever his ultimate goal is, which is just to have a home for his people, he is willing to go to really, really bad lengths. And the idea that you don't take out Talos when you very easily could, so that he has to live with knowing the decision he made cost his daughter her life. Like, that shit's just so good. Like, the writing there is so good. And what it does for the Gravik character, like I said, Kingsley Ben-Adir, man, this dude is bringing heat, and I can't wait. Like, it's one of these where I was saying, like, you tease something and then you deliver it the next episode. We tease the Super Skrull, we deliver. We know that it's Gravik that got it done to him, and that he's going to make multiple Super Skrulls. So you answer all those questions, and then you tease the fact that he's already had the powers put into him. I thought maybe we were going to see, some more with Gaia, depending on how that went down. With how it did, I would expect episode 4 to be our first reveal of, like, Gravik doing Super Skrull things. The way that this show's going, maybe nothing crazy. Like, you might save, like, whatever the big things are that he can do with the superpowers for the finale. That feels logical. But, like, I don't know, show me like his arm extending like a Groot, or you know, like just that, like I don't exactly know what Cull Obsidian's superpower is off the top of my head, but like, you know, that unbelievable strength, you know, or like show me some of that like they did with the Extremis. I think that'd be cool. Just give me a little bit more. Give me maybe a sequence where we see some of it in action. But everything that they're doing with Gravik for a character that was created for TV, I think has been. It's one of those, like, we're going to add somebody to a story and a world that doesn't exist or come from that place because it's going to be beneficial to what the story is and what that story is for our main characters, right? Like Talos and Fury, what Gravik is representing and is doing is something that I really dig. Is one of these where I can very well see the type of threat that he's becoming, that we take him off the board at the end of this series. I hope we don't do that. I would like Kingsley Ben-Adir to be around to be a villain again at some point in time. I don't know what the resolution is. I don't know if you put him in jail or whatever it is, but like Kingsley Ben-Adir is going to be a household name, I would say, in the next 5 years. Like everything I've seen this dude do, he's just stellar, you know. And it's one of those things where it's like, One Night in Miami, keep your eye on this kid, you know. And that was when the name came up and I saw it. Well, I couldn't connect it to One Night in Miami in the moment. I was like, oh, I know this name. This kid he's good. And you're seeing it here. Marvel be dumb. Like, you trying to build a world where, like, you've got a new roster, a new set of faces, up and coming actors. You want talent. You want talent retained. We've seen how losing really good talent bites you in the ass. Killmonger. And you go there with multiple places. Lee Pace, another one, who I thought was robbed. At least he got another shot in Captain Marvel. But, like, you know, and Lee Pace, he ain't even doing what Kingsley Ben-Adir's doing, right? So, like, that's one of those, like, you want that guy in your back pocket at any point in time because the type of villain he is can work in this grounded stuff that, like, I think is going to connect with more general audiences. So, I love everything that he's doing. I love how they're building Gravik out. I really do. And like I said, while I hate what happens to Emilia Clarke, from the other perspectives, it drives things that make sense for these characters. Speaking of Emilia Clarke, one more time, I know she wasn't given a ton here, but every time she was on screen, for me, she was scene stealing. And most of it was just with expression. She didn't get a ton of dialogue in this show, but like just her curiosities, the way she looks at things, like she still has it, man. And I hope that somebody puts her in a position to really shine, because that girl got a lot of talent, and she definitely was showing it off in the little bit that we got of her here. And then, you know, you got Mendelsohn and you got Samuel Jackson. These are two guys that I think you can tell enjoy working together. Like I said, the chemistry between them from working together is so apparent. Their back and forths are brilliant, and I love the way that you answered the question that you kind of posed last week, where it was like, that conversation I love so much because you understand both sides when they're on the train, right? You get where Talos is coming from, man. 20 plus years. I don't have a home. Well, what else am I supposed to do? My people are all over the universe, and they're not in good shape. I needed somewhere to go. But you also understand Fury, even if it felt a little bit like a kid temper tantrum, like, oh, I did you wrong, you did me wrong, worse. I get to be more upset. There's a little bit of that going on. You can understand it like a million. What are you doing? What? So like that back and forth is great, but I love that when we get to here, you put them in that car and you get that back and forth where Talos just gets out everything he wants, Fury stays fairly cool, jabs him where he needs to, and like now we know these two are back on the same page, and you do it through the banter and the conversation. Like I said, the writing and the dialogue is just so freaking strong. And then again, I think what you got going on behind the camera, the score, the way that the camera work and the score are building the tension on top of the performances and conversations that are going on, like, that's what makes this show pop, man. You can just have people talking in a room and you're like, I don't know who to trust. I don't know who's who. I don't know who's gonna do what. Like, you are just on edge a lot, and I love that vibe, and it fits so well in this genre. And I think they're really doing the spy espionage stuff really well. Like the not so much, you know, that there's mysteries or anything going on, right? Like, there are things we gotta figure out and whatnot, but like the governmental things, the feuding, the factions, the different, like, all of that stuff is just clicking so well. And like I said, I'm really interested to see what that kid Beto does. He's obviously the old man in that submarine, I believe. So you saw like where he, like, you know, but like it feels like they're gonna give him more. Either way, fascinating to see what we get, because that kid is someone else who I think when he comes on screen, I'm like, I'm interested in what's going on over there. Can I learn some more? But yeah, for me, this show is absolute fire right now, and I can't wait for episode 4. So let's get to see Maniacs up and give this bad boy a score. Like I said, again, expert level writing on this show. Really good stuff behind the camera. The scoring is making you feel all the emotional things that you're supposed to feel, whether it's tension, whether it's legit emotional beat. You really, the show is making you not trust anybody. Like Fury's girl, man. Like we see him come in and be like, oh damn, Fury's married. He got a woman. Look at all that loving. The very next scene, I'm like, that bitch is no good. I can't trust her. And I love the fact that, like, it seems like I got it right in my ear. I'm pretty sure it was Rhodey that called her. So like, I want to see what's going on with that stuff. Like the fact you don't know who to trust, who's who. I'm loving how they're playing with all that stuff. And then performance-wise, I mean, it's just top-notch stuff. What else do you expect from people like Samuel Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn? Like, we know what to expect from those guys, and they are absolutely delivering. And then it's people like Kingsley Ben-Adir, where you're like, I know this guy's got the chops, but you're standing opposite some really, really strong actors, and you are winning scenes, man. Like, so good. R.I.P. Gaia. I really hope somehow there's a misdirect in there. And the other thing, too, Skrull bleed purple. Y'all noticed that when Ben-Adir pulled his hand, that was red blood coming out his hand. So I'm wondering if, like, whether it was Extremis or whatever the process was, did something else to him, because his blood was not purple. And I mean, if I'm wrong, let me know, but I feel like the blood's always purple for the Skrull. I mean, what was it, purple, mushy purple brain matter, or whatever the heck Fury said. It was really funny. Anyway, I'm getting off course. But yeah, like, what's going on with Ben-Adir, I really love. And while we didn't get a ton from Emilia Clarke, you know, ultimately, I loved everything that she gave us. Olivia Colman, scene stealer every single time she pops in, no matter how little we get her. She's just so good. And she delivers a lot of humor. Like, a lot of the laughs come from her because of her delivery, the way she says things, the types of jabs she takes. Like I said, I love how it feels like these characters that have never been on screen before, it feels like they've known and interacted with the characters they have for a long period of time. And I like that. It makes the banter feel natural, and the humor elements that are in this show, I think, work because they feel natural to the characters. Things that didn't work, though, for me in this episode, I mean, if you're gonna fridge Maria Hill, fridging Gaia on top of that is... It doesn't feel right, man, and I really don't like the decision. Like, it's frustrating. It is frustrating as a fan of these actors to just see them get kind of done dirty when they're doing so much with so little. But for that one, like, that really negatively impacts me on this episode. I think is a strange choice to double down on that concept twice in 3 episodes. Doesn't sound knock it down a peg, but overall, I really like what we're doing, and I think from the narrative perspective and what's going on from the Fury and Talos and you know, Gravik scenarios, I really dig it. I'm gonna go 3 out of 5 see Maniacs on this one. Mostly because I just think it's dumb to fridge 2 characters in one series. My feelings on episode 3 could very much change if somehow Gaia had a feeling that what was going to happen happened, and when she got shot, maybe she ain't actually dead, but she's shifted into the Skrull to make it seem that way. Like, it felt, the end of that episode, it felt like we sat on that shot of Gravik's car driving away for a very long time because I thought Gaia was going to sit up. So if somehow that concept actually rolled into next episode and Gaia is not dead, my feelings and score on episode 3 would change. But taking her off on the board on top of Maria Hill, that one just doesn't feel great to me. So again, rock solid stuff and really, really high level of filmmaking and writing, everything going on here. I mean, the acting, it's all top notch. That decision, just like, I could rationalize it for Maria Hill. It's frustrating. So yeah, 3. I'm gonna stick with a 3. Otherwise, this probably would have been like a 3.5 or 4. But yeah, I don't like that they did it twice. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up. I've been talking for a super long time, man. You watch me watch the thing. Now talk about the thing. Now it's your turn to talk about the thing. What are you guys feeling about Secret Invasion? The idea of fridging not 1 but 2 characters. Do you think Gaia is actually been fridged, or is she alive? Maybe there's some sort of misdirect. Maybe she comes back. If she doesn't, though, does that negatively impact your experience in some way? Considering that did for me, I feel like there are going to be a few of you out there that were not happy with that one. But if you think maybe there's a way that she comes back, like maybe it's a misdirect of some kind, I want to know what you're thinking. How hopeful are you being? You're praying, and also be able to step outside of your emotional feelings around that, and really look at the show and what it's doing for its 2 main characters, which are Talos and Fury. How do you like those storylines? How are they building? What are you thinking of the performances? Where do you think we're going? These 2 guys are guys that think they can still do the thing, but they slip up a little bit here and there to have more bumps in the road, I think, than they used to. But how much did you love those conversations? I mean, that conversation in the car where Talos is just like, you were a nobody before us. Like, this is a team, man. Like, this ain't a Nick Fury thing. Nobody doubts what you can do, but you can get where you got without us. I love that whole thing. So how did that hit? What are you thinking about Olivia Colman? Is the humor working? I attach that to her because I feel like a lot of her banter makes people laugh and smile. Is that stuff that's working, feeling natural for you guys? And then lastly, Kingsley Ben-Adir. Where are you on this guy, man? How much are you loving his performance? What do you think about Gravik, the Super Skrull? Anything you got about Episode 3, Betrayed, or just Secret Invasion as a whole, put it down below in the comments section. Go spoiler happy if you want. That's cool with me, because, well, we done spoiled everything for this episode. So put it down below in the comments section. Look forward to talking to you down there. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new, you want to come hang out with C-Man anytime, we're talking movies, TV, trailer, reactions. You want to be here to see our thoughts next week. We've got I got some horror things to try to get to this week, and Insidious has got a new movie. You know how I love the horror. I know y'all love the horror. If you haven't and you want to be here for those things, know when they're happening, well, hey, come join C-Maniac Nation. It's super easy. You just got to jump over there, hit the subscribe, hit the little bell if you want the alerts. And until next time, for the C-Man's Cinema, sit down. I've been the C-Man. I'm signing off. Peace! Oh, you guys are still here. You snuck up on me. You must be looking for more of this guy. Well, I got 2 video options for you, man. Right up here and right over here. And if you want all those C-Man goodies, well, hey, come join the squad right on over there, and I'll catch you on the next one.